Welcome to the Sportswire Spotlight. I'm Will Catterley. Joining me, as always, Dylan Garner. Dylan, what is up, my man?
I'm doing good, and we're here at Hermitage to talk one of my favorite things, which is track.
Absolutely.
Which is awesome.
Underrated, underappreciated, especially when you're talking about Hermitage High School. We're going to break this into two subjects, or into two segments, I should say.
A lot of people here.
Because there's a lot of people here, and well-deserving. Let's get right to it. To my far left, head coach, Tenise Patrick, and her daughter, Taryn Patrick, and we have Princess, or actually it's Massandje Princess Comara. Princess is actually her middle name, but she goes by Princess first name. So that's unbelievable. We have two freshmen, we have a daughter of a head coach, and we have a head coach, and they just came back from a very, to put it mildly, successful state tournament. Guys, appreciate you being part of the Sportswire Spotlight. Let's get right to it. Coach first, what's it like coaching your own daughter? How does that relationship work?
Well, the relationship works because I don't coach her. She gets coached by our amazing staff. We have Coach Ray that coaches her, and he's been coaching her since she was younger. We have Coach Grant. We have our other head coach, Coach Stan. So I just kind of keep my hands off Coach Travis. We have a lot of help at Hermitage, so that's a sticky situation.
And you may be coaching, certain elements of the team, but you're there, and out of the corner of your eye, you probably see your daughter. That's what I mean.
I do. So it becomes rough some days.
Taryn, what was that like for you coming into Hermitage, knowing your mom was going to be your head coach here? Like, was there a different energy coming into Hermitage when you started?
No.
No, same deal.
Yeah, it was the same because I used to practice with them a lot, so it was just the same.
Part of the whole thing. And Massandje, I looked up some details about your incredible state meet, to say the least. You have been doing this for a couple of years now. I guess since the 6th grade, is that correct?
Yes.
The question I was going to ask you was just how did you do what you did? Just to give you guys an idea, both of our freshmen here, Massandje had the fastest time in the 500 as a freshman in Virginia ever. Fifth fastest Virginia all time, ranks highly national. And then Taryn doing the same thing this season as a freshman in Virginia, ranking first among all freshmen in Virginia.
Very different races too, 55 versus 500.
And so, Massandje, what led to such a spectacular end of the indoor season for you? I know you had some good meets leading up to that, but how did that happen?
I think what prepared me for my 500 race was all the practices and talking between my coaches about how I wanted to run it and practicing how it would feel during the paces of running, and if this would happen, what could I do to prevent it from reacting differently towards my times. Mm-hmm. So I think my practices and my coaches being there for me was the best thing that could help me for my 500.
And Coach, from your perspective, you have both of these talented freshmen. We have all these other girls here who are obviously spectacularly talented. When you look at the beginning of this season, and obviously you'll have outdoor season too, but could you imagine this group performing at the level they were? Obviously you had a lot of talent coming in, but when you see the final result, when you see the final results from, this entire crew, could you have imagined such high levels of success so quickly?
I'm not surprised. I think we knew this a long time ago. Like I said, Coach Ray's been around Taryn for a long time. Princess, I've been around her since she was in the 6th grade. And we had other talent that they just needed the extra people to be able to execute. So I feel like we knew all of this, but we were just preparing. We had a strategy for Taryn, we had a strategy for Princess, and we knew where they needed to be with the other ones on our team that are also good.
Yeah.
So, honestly, it's the coaching staff. We have good coaches. We have our distance coach, Coach Grant, who facilitates a lot of Princess's workouts as well. And she does sprint workouts too. So she has Coach Travis and Coach Ray actually clocking her doing these things, and Taryn as well. They do different types of workouts because they do different types of races. But I think we knew this was going to happen.
Well, that brings me to a question I was wondering about is when you're a freshman, most of the time in most things, you're feeling your way out. You're trying to figure out where do I fit in the best? I remember when I was in high school, my coach wanted me to be a distance runner. I was like, no, I don't have the stamina nor the mental fortitude to do that. So for both of you, Taryn and Princess, Taryn, I'll start with you. How did you know that the 55 is my baby? And then Princess, how did you know, Massandje, how did you know that it was like 500, that's where it's at?
Well, the 55, like, it's my race, but, like, I'm better at the 100. Because, like, I pick up ground more to the end of the race.
And 55 isn't long enough to pick up much ground.
Yeah, it's not.
It's instantaneous, basically.
Yeah, so, like the 55, it's like real quick. Like at the end of my races, you see that I catch up more at the end. So, like,
yeah. Did you guys know in middle school, though, that, like, this is what I want to run? Or was it just kind of like, I'm fast, I'll try this out?
Yeah, like, I'm not a distance runner at all.
I hear you.
Neither am I.
That's no fun.
See, Princess can run everything down.
Yeah, Princess can run anything from the 1,000, the mile, the 800, the 500. If you put her in we put her in the 55 last year, and she ran it, and she didn't like it, but she ran it.
So there is such a thing as a natural born runner, I guess.
Maybe just a little.
Oh, she can high jump. She can do pretty much anything you put her in.
I was going to say, I saw her, I think you have the number 3 high jump at Hermitage now. Is that correct? Or at least for indoor or something like that. And I was like, and this is like this third event, I guess, for you. So for both of y'all as well, when you're coming in as freshmen, you're feeling out the team and stuff like that, and you're coming in with a bunch of other talented people. Was there, like, what was the adaptation period like for both of you, that transition period going from like middle school and AAU to now you're in the big leagues with the varsity high school team? What was that kind of period like for both of y'all, especially as people coming in that were obviously really talented?
I would say the difference between middle school and high school and AAU, I think AAU really prepared me for high school because it was people who were serious, people who knew that they wanted to get far in this. So it wasn't like they were just doing this for entertainment. And if they were good at it and they kept doing it. So it pushed me to do good as well. So in high school, you're kind of coming along with the same, like, mode. You're serious about it, or you're just doing it because you're good at it and you find it entertaining. And it's the same environment, but just less of the competition, and you don't have to be so, like, you don't have to overthink all the time. You could run your event and you could just have fun with it, and you could know, well, I have more time to do this since I am only a freshman, so I have more time to fix this or do this next time, and I don't have to overthink it all. Or I could practice this during the summer because of AAU, so I still have time, and it's fun. So. And
for the people at home who don't know a whole lot about track records, we've had some tremendous runners. We've had the Britton Wilsons at Mills Goblin. We have the Queen Harrisons. Nobody as a freshman has ever run a 55 at 1:12:55, if I'm correct.
500, yeah.
At the 500, that's what I meant, 500.
Yeah.
No one's ever done that as a freshman. You have done something no one's ever done. So, that being said, everybody wants to get into your mind. What is your pregame? Do you have a pre-race ritual?
As my pre-race ritual, I like to listen to music, and I like to listen to music that were trending back then. Like, I like to listen to, I don't know, for example, Party in the USA.
Wow,
it's just, I don't like to
You're
overthink.
speaking to my millennial heart.
That's right.
I don't like to overthink, and when I listen to music that just reminds me to have fun, it's just, that's kind of the thing. I just try to have fun and remember why I'm here and how I got here. So I think the music before the race is always the best thing.
You want to get national times? Party in the USA. That's the answer. All right, I guess we're done here. No.
I was going to ask Taryn, any superstitions, any things that you got to do before your big races too? And yours go by so fast. I imagine you're thinking about it as long as you're running. So,
what I do? I listen to music too.
Yeah.
Like, I like to listen to music like that will, like, get you hype.
Yeah.
So, like,
Party in the USA doesn't do it for you?
no, not really.
Not really.
But I like to listen to music that gets me hyped. So like, I don't know how to explain it.
Mhm.
Like I have to like so I can like I don't know.
Something with a beat, right?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I hear you.
so I can have confidence.
Yes.
So I have confidence to go in. So
I get that for sure.
Coach, what do you listen to?
I don't listen to anything.
Just in my own mind.
But okay, what's your any favorite pregame? I won't say meal, but snack. What do you guys eat beforehand?
I like to eat pasta.
Oh yeah, you
Yes.
got to
That's
get
a
the
good
pasta.
choice.
The
Yeah,
night
pasta.
before.
The
From
night
Cheesecake
before.
Factory. Yes.
Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
Cheesecake Factory. The night before.
yeah, the
Mhm.
night
The
before.
Obviously.
night before.
But
Sheesh.
like during track meets, I like fruit, the applesauce,
The applesauce. That's a
Yeah.
winner.
and then I like smoothies. But you're really not supposed to drink smoothies
Why not?
because it has a lot of dairy.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Probably a lot of sugar
Yep.
too.
Enough
Yeah.
said there. All right. So when you guys are posting national marks, when you're ranked nationally as freshmen, what's the? This is such a cliche question. But what does the future hold? What's your personal goals?
For me, my personal goals is to remain state champ until leaving high school. I want to break records that I think I'm capable of winning. And
What do you think you're capable of winning?
I'm going for the Athingmu record for
Explain to our audience and us.
in the 500, Athingmu ran 1:10:22
Oh my god.
for the 500.
1:12:55 isn't far.
Yeah.
Just 2 seconds in a.
Yep,
Couple
and
times,
just
I am
2 seconds.
hoping to run that before I leave, and I'm hoping to leave my mark so everyone would know me in the future.
It's good to have goals. How about you?
I wanna like you're talking about like the future, like in the past, right? I'm like not in the past.
It's
In
not,
the,
yeah, it's not back to the future.
Through
but-
your high school
yeah,
career.
through your high school career,
Or
you
short
could,
term.
You could talk college too. Who knows?
Well, I wanna this year, I wanna how do I put this? I want to like surprise everybody.
Okay.
Like I want to I don't I can be how do I put this?
Well, there's
okay.
surprising people and there's surprising yourself. So what would surprise people? Be like, whoa!
Yeah,
I did not
surprise
see
people.
Taryn doing that.
Yeah, like I want to make people's minds I'm like, whoa! I didn't know she could do that.
I've been to a lot of track meets where that moment has happened. You know, like I've covered long jumpers, triple jumpers, sprinters, distance runners. Talking about Waleed back in the day, Britton
Yes,
Wilson,
Suleiman, yeah.
Tatiana from Thomasdale. People that have broken a lot of state records
Yeah, I
around
want to
here.
break a lot of records.
Yeah, and when that moment happens, and you know, I'm sure Massandje, you know, you kind of felt that probably at states, but everyone kind of feels it in the room, and those moments are really, I mean, it's a great goal to have because you feel it.
I want to break Brianna Shelby's record in the 55. I think it's 6'7". I want to be able to get there by senior year.
6'7".
It's really good. And coach, when you look at, you know, you have two freshmen here, and we're going to talk to more here in a minute, but when you have these two freshmen, these two stars, and you're thinking about not just how they're doing right now, but the next few years for them, you know, what is that process like of keeping them focused, moving, you know, developing toward their goals, and what is your role and your coach's roles in that?
So I will say that the culture that we have at on Herm program is we try to make sure that our team feels together. So we do a lot of team bonding stuff with the kids so that I feel like you perform better when the kids like each other and they have fun with each other. So we do a lot of team bonding. Coach Ray suggested this a long time ago. So it's something that we've been trying to implement this year to make sure that we're consistent with doing it.
Sure.
We've traveled out of town a little bit more this year to give the kids a little bit more running space versus just locally doing things and developing their teammates around them. And I feel like Taryn, Princess, Asah, Samia, Brenley, they all bring that to the team because they lead. And when the other teammates see them doing it, they want to do the same thing. It's like they gravitate towards that. So I believe that the culture that we have at Hermitage is what grounds them to want to do better and want to be better, because there's not a lot of teams like like the one we have here.
And the last question that I had, Will, before we wrap up with this group, we mentioned her name earlier. The kind of legend of Hermitage track is Queen Harrison. Now we have Massandje Princess here. How does she become that Queen Harrison level? Like, where does this go from here when she's already, where she is? And how do we, get to that Queen Harrison tier of Hermitage track?
Well, first of all, Queen, she'll text or she'll
Yeah.
hey, great jobs, girl. So she's rooting for
I'm
them.
sure she is. Yeah.
And when she comes back May 3rd and 4th for the Queen Track Classic, she's all Hermitage, So she wants the girls to one day break her records and things because she sees how great they are. But I think just keeping them focused and making sure that they're grounded. I know, out of all 6 girls here, they have a 3.85 GPA, so it starts with schoolwork. It starts with staying grounded and being students first and athletes second. So I think we push a lot of that to make sure they're on track and just making sure that
no
they're...
pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended.
Right.
But making sure that they... I know I push a lot of making sure that they're prepared, making sure that mentally they're prepared, and making sure that they keep themselves organized, because I'm like, you perform better when you're organized. You perform better when your grades are good. So I think for us as a coaching staff, and we're there, we support them. Like Coach Ray will ask them, what do you want to run?
Sure.
And then he talks it through. So he's not just doing stuff just because that's what we want them to do. He asked them. Coach Grant will ask. But he has a strategy.
Yeah.
And that strategy is we're preparing for championship. We're preparing for the regional and state meet. So I think these girls they have their own motivation. Some of it we don't have to do because it's them. They don't practice just at Herm. They practice outside of that on weekends. Taryn will do strength and speed training at Elkins Sports Performance. Massandje will go out and run 3 miles easily.
There you go.
That's just light work for you.
Right. So I think they have what it takes. They motivate themselves on a day-to-day basis.
Well, girls, what last one for you guys is what is it like having Queen Harrison? A legend here at Hermitage, an Olympic runner for people at home who don't know who Queen Harrison is. She made it to United States Olympics. What is it like talking with her, and how do you pick her brain a little bit?
I think having Queen as a inspiration for Herm, not for just track people, but for any other sport like football, basketball. I think it's good to know that someone from the school that you're in right now, she was doing the same thing. She went to school, she practiced, she got home late, she did her homework late, she went to sleep, she did all the stuff that you're doing right now, and she still found a way to become someone that people will remember and people that they'll see on the school boards. And she's a good reminder to remind you that you can make it out. You don't have to go out somewhere. You don't have to leave where you're from. You don't have to move to be good. You could do it just where you're at.
That's impressive. That's a nice lesson to have, too.
Any national meets on the table for any of y'all?
Yeah, they have the Adidas Nationals coming up. So next weekend, Taryn, Princess, Asah will be at the national meet for freshmen in Adidas in Virginia Beach. So they'll be there for 3 days to perform, and you may see some more records breaking.
I was gonna say, it went great the last time you were in Virginia Beach.
That'll be a great experience too.
Good luck there.
Just up your game even more. We really appreciate you being part of the Sportswire Spotlight. We'll be watching your careers with great interest.
Thank you.
We are not done, however, because we still got to talk the 4x2. We got to talk shot put. We got even more coming up. Welcome back to Sportswire Spotlight. Still here at Hermitage High School. Still talking indoor track and field, which will very soon translate to outdoor track and field. We've got a couple of stars from the 4x200 meters in Asah Delaney and Samia Johnson, and a shot put extraordinaire in Brenley Doran. Ladies, thanks for coming on and playing. You're not playing second fiddle. You're part of a tremendous team. We already talked about the bonding. We talked about what you guys do to get better. And when I heard your coach talking about bonding, I want to start with the 4x2, because in relay races, it just takes 1/10 of a fraction of a second to either dominate or fall apart? How did you guys come together as a team to do so well in states? For people at home, 7th overall, first in their heat.
I think that we all really get along already, so it was pretty easy for all of us. I mean, we all work together well as a team. We practice together as a team, and yeah.
Awesome. Senior statesman over here in the middle.
Like my coach had mentioned, team bonding is important, and I'm glad that I built a bond with these girls on and off the track. And I believe that we put on a better performance because we trust each other and we're building a relationship, not just on the track, but in general. I'm glad to be their big sister. I'm glad that I get to play that role. And I think that when we get on the track, it's just a trust factor, and we know that we got it. So.
What's that role like, playing the senior and the leader of a relay? Because you've got 3 other girls with you, and everybody has to have their steps, right?
Yeah. I just feel like they're a little big sister, honestly. Sometimes I put my foot forward. Sometimes I let them, because I know that we're all, great athletes, and I don't let my age dictate anything. So I'm just glad that I can be the role model, and honestly, they're my role model as well. They put on great performances, so it just feels good to be with them.
What hypes you guys up pre-race so that you can perform your best?
Before my race, sometimes I'm talking to myself because I get nervous, but I like to listen to music also. But I feel like talking to myself really helps me because, I feel like I know myself best. Right. It really helps me not be nervous anymore.
Can you listen to yourself though? Because I'll talk to myself too. I just don't listen.
Yeah. I do trust myself a lot, so when I talk to myself, it's kind of comforting. I just tell myself that everything's gonna be all right, and I trust my teammates as well, so I just don't put all the pressure on me.
Like affirmation kind of things.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And how about you?
Well, one thing that I have started for myself this season has been writing down affirmations for myself, so repeating those, music as well. And honestly, I've just had to master the fact that times on a sheet does not determine who I am as a person. Yeah. The ultimate goal is to get out on the track and have fun. So I've been trying to focus on that this year, and I think I've been doing a pretty good job. So.
And it's crazy because track and field, we're going to talk field in just a second. 4x2, those short relay races, the crowd gets behind you like crazy. Right? I mean, tell me a little bit about how, does that amp you up? Does it mess you up? Does it help you?
I think that the crowd doesn't really distract me. When I'm running in my race, I'm so focused on what I'm doing that I can't really hear anything else. So I guess that also ties together with me talking to myself, because when I start my race, I'm more focused on just I need to get to the finish line. I need to get to the finish line. I need to do good. And so that tunes everything else out, and it kind of helps me at the same time.
And meanwhile, while you got the crowd focused on the race at hand, over in the corner somewhere, performing great at the shot put, is Brenley Doran. Brenley, let me ask you this, because I've always wondered what made somebody want to get into shot put and or discus. When were you I want to take this gigantic, massive ball and heave it as far as possible?
Well, I started in 6th grade at Moody. I originally started because my cousin ran track at Hermitage, and I was like, I want to be like her. I want to run. And I tried it, and I was like, running is not for me at all.
Let's see what else I can do.
Yeah. And then one of my coaches was like, hey, why don't you try throwing this 8-pound heavy metal ball across a field?
Okay.
And I was like, all right. And I did it, and I did okay. And he was like, okay, we're going to work with that. So throughout middle school, I started improving. And then when I got to high school, it was a complete shift in form, because it was there's two main, I'm not going to get into that, but.
No, but dude, I mean, explain the formula. It's going to be impossible to do without hitting
Give us the Cliff Notes,
mic over. But yeah, Cliff Notes version. Explain the form a little bit. It is intriguing to watch.
So there's two main forms. One is the glide, which is what I was learning in middle school, and then one is the rotation, which is the one you see mostly at Olympics, the turn.
Underneath your
Yeah.
twist thing.
Yeah.
She's like, no, not really.
It's close enough. So the glide is where you kick back, and the rotation is what I'm learning now and what I'm improving at now. That's what I use for both shot put and discus for outdoor. Yeah, that's really it.
Well, you've learned pretty well because, I mean, your numbers, you were number 1 in states as a sophomore.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Sixth place overall.
Yeah,
sixth place finish overall.
And all behind seniors, right?
Was that your goal?
Yes, kind of. My goal was to PR, to get my best, which I had before, and I was happy with it. And I got close. But definitely for outdoor, I'm looking for a pretty big PR. So that's, yeah.
And, we talked about these moments with these sprinters and, middle distance runners. Will mentioned how contained sometimes, like shot put and jumps and stuff are. Like, how do you get yourself in the zone for that environment? Because it's very different. It's not necessarily the big crowd on the edge watching you, but everyone's kind of just like compact around you. It's kind of focused and intense. What is your mindset when you're in that kind of area, especially at somewhere like states?
Definitely, when I start warming up, like I'm completely focused on, like I'm in my brain, I'm thinking like, okay, what am I gonna do for this throw, and like how can I like get this really as far as possible? And so like I really focus on me, what I'm about to do, and my coach really helps me out a lot. Like he's always on the sidelines helping me out. If I'm like starting to get nervous, he always has some words of effort, like to help me out, to keep me calm. And definitely like while I'm waiting for my throws, like I don't know if you see on the side, like we'll be standing in a line.
Yeah.
I go through, like I visualize myself doing the throw. So like I focus on every part of it. And so when I go, I know what I'm doing. And I'm like, I've done this for five years now, so I know what I'm doing.
Self-actualization. I like it.
Yeah.
So how do you, because I know when you're in the blocks just before a race, you can kind of give your competitors kind of a look.
Side eye.
A little side eye. You can intimidate them that way. How does a shot putter intimidate the other shot putters?
Well, it's kind of, sometimes it's hard to intimidate other shot putters when you're much smaller than some of the seniors. Like there are multiple seniors that are really muscular and big. So it's more of like, I try less to focus on my opposition and more on myself, because I know that I can do I can do what these bigger girls are doing. I just have to focus on improving my form.
And one question I had specifically for you, you are just the kind of the latest in these kind of Hermitage throwers that I've heard about. Like I covered track for a long time with the Times-Dispatch. You'd always see a Hermitage boy or Hermitage girl pop up, second in states, first in states, fourth, it would always just be it would be a new name every couple of years, but there's been a tradition here and at Tucker in particular. What comes from that tradition? Is it your coaching? Like, do you know, like, obviously you're plugging into it now after a couple of years, but what are the things you would identify as why throwers have been so good here for so long?
For sure, it's because of our coach, Coach Marv. He has helped me so much in the past 2 years. Like, I would not be where I'm at right now if it wasn't for him. And for sure, that's what it has been for the past couple years. Like, he puts so much effort into this team. Like, I've never had a coach like him before. So being able to like go to practice knowing that my coach is like excited to coach me is like one of the best feelings, because it makes me want to be better. Like, it makes me want to do better for him, because I know that he puts in so much work, like just like I do. So it balances out.
That's great.
Yeah, that's really impressive. Talk about it. You have a chance to make your coaches feel great about themselves. Obviously, what they do with you guys with relay, not just with relays, but any race that you're running. Tell me about the dynamic, student athlete and coach for you guys.
I think that all of our coaches are really great and amazing. I think that the way that some of them focus on each of us individually is really like, it makes you feel special, even though we all work together as a team. I think that it also helps me in how I get nervous sometimes. My coaches are always there to make sure that I know what I'm doing they remind me that I'm a good runner and I shouldn't be scared of anybody else just because they might be faster than me or different than me or anything like that.
And it's one thing for you, Asah, but Samia, you know, as a senior, this is the last chance to set your PRs, to set your mark. What is your final goal? What's the one thing you want to leave Hermitage with here?
The one thing that I want to leave Hermitage with is just, well, kind of doing it now, but just getting better for me. You know, personal records, personal goals for myself, not necessarily for everyone else. Honestly, over the years, I've had to learn how to genuinely enjoy it because I started off running track with, oh, this is just for fun, you know?
Sure.
But as we can see, it gets serious. It really does get serious, and not everyone is doing it for fun. You know,
especially when you get good at it.
Yeah, some people it's like a way out. So, you know, I've learned to balance out just, you know, taking it serious and still having fun. I don't want to lose that spark I have for track, and not yet.
And one question I had for you, again, this is kind of you being kind of the senior leader of a bunch of, I mean, we have a bunch of underclassmen in here, but obviously a team full of different skill sets. We talked about Brenley being a shot putter, you know, y'all in a relay.
55,
yeah,
500.
Yeah, but like everyone has these different skills, these different things they do, different personalities, but y'all all kind of have to work in concert, right? You're doing individual things, but you kind of have to be motivated collectively, right? And can you talk about the culture here at Hermitage, how it was when you came in, like how it's established and how you tried to grow it over your 4 years here and why that stuff matters, these, you know, connective tissues?
So I could definitely say when I started running track in 9th grade, I felt as if the team was a little bit segregated. You know, it was a lot more upperclassmen than it was underclassmen. So over the years, I felt like bonds have been built and, you know, connections have been made, and we're just more united, which is why I think that we're getting better results than we once have, because we all have, once again, a bond off of the track, and I just really think that that's important. Our coaching staff has become closer to us. You know, they've got to learn who we are over the years. So I think having that personal one-on-one connection with coaches as well is very important, and I'm glad that I felt that.
That's awesome. And yeah, we'll have a bell because we're in the school. But
We get a lot of that.
you know, and final thoughts on this. And yeah, we're at a school that you guys all have over like 3.5 GPA, which is really impressive. I think as a team, 3.8. I know we were talking earlier about bringing everything together. It seems like here at Hermitage, like track athletes just have their lives together. I don't know what's going on.
Y'all are doing it well.
Final thoughts. What indoor track season is mostly come and gone. You're moving into the spring soon. How far can your team take you one at a time?
Okay, I'll go first.
Yeah.
For outdoor, I would like to go back to states for outdoor because I actually did freshman year. I did for discus. So my goal is to do that again. I definitely, personally, I would like to get top 3 for discus and then all state again for shot put because I think I can do that, and I would like to PR at states. That is an amazing feeling. But I think collectively as a team, we definitely have a shot at placing high at a state meet because of the amazing people that are on the team and coaching staff. And so, yeah.
Especially once it gets to states and outdoor, the competition, there's so many teams and so many people. You get a few stars, you know, you get a few big performances from y'all. That might be it. You know, it's like 45 points, 50 points, and you're first, second, third, you know, and it happens quick. So that those kinds of expectations can happen very fast. And how about for y'all as individuals and as team?
Individually, it's my goal to make it to states for my 100. I know where my faults and flaws are in that race, so I just hope that I can master it before, you know, my weeks are up. But I can easily say that our 4x1 team is making it to states. I definitely think that we have what it takes. I think we are all motivated and determined. We all have a goal, so hopefully, you know, we can all put our minds onto that one goal and, you know, just execute.
Any plans college-wise?
I do. I want to go to college. I'm still thinking about if I want to run track in college, you know, because it's still that, you know, having fun thing.
Yeah,
and it's
absolutely.
that competitive thing. And I know it will be very competitive in college, but we'll see what the future holds for me.
Asah, what do you think? Where do you think you guys can go?
I think that we can get really far. I think that the team this year is a lot more coordinated than it was last year. I think that because I've started to talk more and, interact with my teammates, that's helped me get even farther with my running and stuff. I hope that this outdoor season I can make it to states for an individual race because I'm working a lot harder. I'm understanding that if I want to do this, if I want to win, I need to start working harder and taking it more seriously. I think that just together as a team that we can get really far, honestly. Yeah.
Awesome. Ladies, I appreciate you being part of the Sportswire Spotlight.
Thank you.
Guys, if you have never taken in a track meet, watch Hermitage. You get some
Yes.
special talent over here.
And we'll have the Queen Harrison Invitational here in probably a couple months or so. So it's a great time to stop by. But yeah, all these track athletes doing great things over here.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Guys,
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Thanks for being part of the Sportswire Spotlight.